Hey guys, thanks for joining us. My name is Renna and I am head of ecosystem for Morph. For those that are not familiar with Morph, we are building the settlement layer for a global payments network. So what that means is working from end to make sure a payment transaction is able to enter the chain, be spent on chain, and leave the chain from things like remittances, B2B flows, cards, merchant gateways. And so to do that, we work closely with regulated compliance rails on and off ramps such as OSL. And so I'm really excited today to have Eugene from OSL here to chat a bit more. Do you want to do a quick introduction?
Sure. Thanks. Thanks for having me today. So my name is Eugene. I'm the Chief Commercial Officer for OSL. So OSL, we are the first license exchange in Hong Kong since 2021. We also have been the first public license exchange in the world as well. So and in the last couple of years, we'll be spending a lot of resources into basically increase our capability to handle the payment. So our future is going to be more focused as a payment infrastructure.
Awesome. So I want to start the questions today about what market trends and the problems we're seeing. So cross-border capital flows in 2026 looks very different from 5 years ago. Institutions are increasingly managing liquidity across trading, custody, and fiat rails, and on-chain settlement simultaneously. So from your seat, where is the system genuinely broken, thinking about traditional systems? What is the problem that you think no one has fully solved yet?
First, we definitely recognize the trend you mentioned. There's a huge increasing especially from the institution side, that are willing to adapting stablecoin, of course, together with the blockchain technology, to solve the cross-border payment settlement issues. We definitely saw that. So we have been doing a lot with a lot of, let's say, import-export company in helping them to do on and off-ramp with a big size. We've been doing that a lot. I think basically the challenge what you ask, which also represent opportunities. I think one is, of course, always compliance. So especially come to the institutional side, this is probably the number one questions I'll be going to ask. I think the good thing is, like, as a license changes, that definitely give a lot of comfort to the lot of institutions. So that's why a lot of people come to us to the on and off ramp. And I think the second thing is really, especially when people try to solve cross-border to a lot of emerging countries, I think we still have to solve not only the global market, it's also like they have rules compliance in the emerging market, right? There's something that still need to navigate, and in order to navigate before you can really settle at the last mile where you have to on and off from with a lot of emerging country local currencies.
Yeah,
I think that is actually something we can very focused working on. With the global expansion, with all the licenses we acquire, we can share a little bit more.
Yeah. I kind of follow up on that. So we're increasingly seeing institutional knowledge in stablecoins, but I think it kind of stops at that. A lot of them don't quite understand blockchain technologies just yet. Do you find, especially working maybe in emerging countries where there's a difference between different markets, where you have to educate beyond what a stablecoin is and compliance to really go deep into the chain, the tech itself?
The answer is yes. I mean, especially when we try to get the license, we also try to get the regulatory approval, and you always have to spend time to educate the first, of course, the regulators. And a lot of time, we basically going to talk about, okay, what is blockchain? Starting at the very beginning questions. Of course, some of them actually do a lot of homework, but we have to explain to them what's a smart contract, how we're able to avoid, let's say, hacking, and then also sometimes they will make it very restrict in terms of like how much percentage asset you have to put your interest in, etc. So I think that is the lot of effort, education effort you just spend in order to get stablecoins to be more widely adopted in the globally, right? But at the meantime, we also thinking about is like eventually the customers they don't really care about whether it's a stable coin or it's a blockchain. They care about results.
Yeah.
Right. So all they care is like when I'm able to get my money right across different countries, and then what's the fee, right? And when my money arrives.
Yeah.
So the reason I mentioned that we spend a lot of resources and time to build and hold this we call OSL Pay. We also have a USD Gold as our own stablecoin. The reason why we want to do that is actually eventually we want to build a full payment gateway. The client only to care, okay, I can get my money, receive my money, let's say from the Middle East country, within like a seconds, and also the fee is extremely low.
Yeah.
Right? They just receive via the bank account. They don't really care, okay, maybe I use stablecoin, I use a blockchain, they don't really care. It's just focus at the result. I think that's the direction we're going to. We may probably use a stablecoin, we'll probably use blockchain, we'll probably use a lot of things, but eventually we just want to bring a result to it over time.
Yeah. You want to make sure that UI UX is so seamless, almost also on their user end, right? That's what a good payment experience should be like. And speaking a bit more about strategy specific globally, you guys have had an increasing global presence in Hong Kong, Singapore, and beyond. But having a global footprint and having a global strategy sometimes could be different things. How does OSL prioritize where to compete, which quarters, and how do you guys look at client segmentation?
Yes, we expanding globally. I think, it kind of remember the reason why we want to do globally. It is like, there's a slogan line by the HSBC before, it's kind of globally, locally. The reason we want to expand globally is because we want to be more locally. I think none of the license we acquire Bannister. I think one of the main reasons we acquire Bannister is because we're able to provide the banking view, the local banking view, within 42 jurisdictions. So the reason why we want to get more licenses is really because we want to able to really go through the last mile, right? Really can able to provide the local banking view and also it basically connecting all the local banking view together with our global platform.
Yeah, great. I was going to ask about Banza, so you just covered it. So next, I want to talk a little bit more about B2B infrastructure. You're increasingly seeing a new generation of companies like BB&K that are working on the connective tissue between traditional finance and enterprise settlements. And so OSL has the license, you guys have the custody and the fiat rails. Is that the direction you'd say that you guys are looking to include into? And what does institutional grade B2B settlement infrastructure need to have to get fully adoption at scale?
It's really back to originally when I mentioned what we saw is like the institutional adoptions, right? And we are talking about not only like the import export. We talk about there's a lot of financial institutions that also coming in to use OTC as starting with stablecoin settlement currencies, and also a lot of it consider use RWA, Organization Money Market Fund, was stopped as collateral or as investment investment vehicle. So what we see right now is like, especially coming from OSL perspective as a licensed and a regulated platform, because we believe in order for institutions really fully adopt stablecoin or assets that really living on the blockchain, you need to fix the compliance layers. And together with the risk management layer, as you and I mentioned about the custody, the wallet, that's the key questions. In order people really were gonna have confidence in these technologies and put a lot of real volumes, like scalable volumes, business on blockchains. I mean, that's very important. That it won't happen overnight.
Yeah.
To be honest, because like the retail probably, they will just do something, by some campaign advertisement. But institutions, they will spend some time to understand, from a legal perspective, technology perspective, every single detail. But once they reach the level of comfort, and also, of course, they run something before everything get approval, then they will seriously put a lot of volumes onto blockchain and stablecoin. Right, we definitely believe that's the future.
Yeah.
We believe the existing legacy infrastructures that actually hasn't been improved for many years.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what we're here. That's what OSL what we're doing. Of course, together with both other partner we want to just basically want to use a blockchain technology that able to create a lot of value to a lot of clients, especially institutional clients.
Yeah. Yeah, I 100% agree. I think making sure that even from where we sit, making sure that the chain has compliant and regulated rails for money to come on the chain and leave the chain has been one of the biggest focus for us. And I realized when I first started how much work I didn't realize it was, but such an important part to make sure that you are future-proof for all the payment flows to be on your chain and then to be there for your partner. And so I guess for a future outlook, cross-border payments is still a sector, like you mentioned, where the traditional rails are still broken. It's slow. It lacks kind of transparency. So from your vantage point, what needs to actually change, whether it's for the traditional rails or for us, the next 24 months for on-chain settlement to truly be the default for institutional cross-border flow?
I think sure right now we have an AI category, right? No, everyone talk about AI. You definitely cannot ignore how you should able integrate AI. This is it's not about yes or no, it's about how questions, right? But we believe we have a lot of internal discussion as well about how we can integrate AI to our business, payment business. I believe one of the key things is not actually only about automatic the transaction, right? Like how you win the trade. It's actually more about how you're able to basically empower the control layers.
Yeah.
Still back to the question, it's compliance, it's everything.
Yeah.
Right? So how you're able to make that efficient.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why people use Visa Master to do all this global payment is because behind the Visa app, it's not like only swiping your card. There's a lot of compliance risk, clearing, settlement, charge basis of billion already.
Yeah.
Right? In order for stable coin able to facilitate that kind of a global, paying payout, remittance economics, you would definitely still need that kind of layers that able to basically protect the merchant, right? As well as protect the customers.
Yeah.
So I think that part is what actually OSL was focused building to me, right? We are peace paying, we are even when we build the USD Gold settlement, the stable coin, that's the direction we're heading. Try to solve that important control layers.
Yeah.
Before we can see there's a more serious player for the user as well. Yes. As one of the key platform to go policy.
Yeah, that's really interesting because I think a lot of the discussion about AI or agentic payments right now is very to the consumer facing. And I think a lot of the hesitation we see is around security, is around risk, giving access to the agent of the wallet, your information. So it's quite interesting to see you guys approaching it from the different layer of AI and be able to kind of incorporate it into institutional flow. And that's really just...
Yeah, because we think that, the AI A2A payment really serious still have to be in some control, right? If an A2A payment without any KYC, without anything, we don't think first it will sustain, and second it will go up to certain scale.
Yeah.
Right? People are gonna stop it.
Yeah. Yeah, and more we've been very focused on growing kind of our agent toolkit for AI toolkit. So gives us some ideas of what to look into, maybe building an AI layer for compliance controls. That's great. So that's all the questions we have for today. I want to leave a little bit of time for you if you want to share about what's coming up for OSL, anything the listeners should look out for, anything exciting.
First, first we are super excited getting here. I believe, at least for me, it's my first time I come to Money 2020. We always go to all these Web3, 2024-9. But of course, we've been really cutting the street. We actually are a global payment company. That's why this is an event we must be. We have our own booth. Yeah, you will have time, feel free to come, and then you can learn more about our OSL business.
Awesome. You're a global payments company. We're a global payments settlement layer. That's why we work so well together.
Exactly.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.